Well, good morning, Ron Howard here, xTreme Sequences, and extremely glad to take a piece of your morning or evening and sequence. It's time. If you're one of these people that really want to learn to sequence, or at least dabble in it, have some fun, then I'm your Huckleberry. And I thought, let's just start with the basics. Single strand tool. Maybe a music effect. We'll build on it. But this is going to be very quick, very clean, very easy to do. I will use no more than 3 layers at the group level for, oh, I don't know. Let's go eaves all. Just create multiple layers. I'd like 2 more under there. Boom. All right. Let's back up just a moment and set the stage. What are we looking at? This is my house here. Yeah. Okay, cool. This is using the master view. I could use the house all, which is what I do in my sequencing all the time. And what I like about using the house all is that if I wanted to turn on all my timings at once and make this look really cloudy, I could. But I usually don't. In this case, I'm just going to use master view. And I've only set up 2 timing marks automatically. Just right click in here, add your timing track, tell it you want one of these cool timings, and you're off. And that's all there is to it. I always leave my new timing up here just in case I want to create something like a start point. For instance, from here, if I just want a visual reference as I'm studying the song, I might hit the T here and just say this is my start for a visual reference. Maybe I'll right click up here and put a 0 for this is where I'm going to start. And that's just as simple as right clicking. Maybe this next section will be 1 and this over here will be 2 and then you can get to those sections by hitting hotkeys, right? But yeah, I don't use that nearly as much as you would think, but it looks impressive, right? All right, back to sequencing. So we're just going to sequence, I don't know, just this little section here. Cool, it's got a driving beat. And a lot of people ask questions about how do I make my house eaves look good? Because there's not much you can do with house eaves, right? Unless you put it in a whole house effect, you know, it's just straight lines. It's a single line of pixels going across. You're not going to scroll text on there. Galaxy isn't going to look super great on it. But you can get some nice features and effects from things like fan and pinwheel and certainly one of my favorites, shockwave. But we're going to talk about the single strand. Let's drag a single strand. And what I'm going to do here, 8, 8, we'll just put this at 12 for the beats. I think I already have it. Oh my goodness, look at this. Let's start where it starts. And I think I'll put this here. And I'll just go through this section. Let's see what it looks like. Ah, cool. Fine. Red and white. Christmas colors. I like it. So let's do a bounce from left to right. Well, that takes a long time, right? Let's see where this ends. So I'm going to bring this over 2 more because that ends the phrase. We'll say that ends the phrase before it starts something else. What I like to do, since I know there are 4 beats in the bar, we could probably take this to 4. Let's see what happens here. We're gonna get this to go back and forth. Okay, and that's cool. That's a nice effect, but it's really not what I'm looking for. And this is the beauty of sequencing at the group level. If we go over here to our layer settings and I click on default and change that to vertical per model per strand. Now that to me is a little more interesting. Let's watch this section. What's nice about having this in the background, you're not going to have a lot of competition with other elements, other models doing their thing. It's fairly subtle, but it looks cool. If you want to make it a little more dominant, then you can change the chase size. It's at 10 now. Let's just take this up to this. And that looks good. Or let's just go to, I don't know, let's go up here, but then add fade. Yeah, but you're seeing mostly white, but that's a cool effect. If we were to use, I don't know, red, blue, then that's a cool effect. Let's go back to this. Let's bring this chase size down a little bit. The other thing you could do is you could change the number of chases. And then bring that chase size further up. Let's take the 3D fade off. Yeah, see, but I'm not liking that. I like the 1, and I kind of like that. I don't know if I want the fade with this. No. I would leave it just like that. That kind of looks cool. Let's also look at the different ways it might look if we were to use horizontal. That's just going to go up and down, which could be a cool effect. Nothing wrong with it. Vertical per model looks just the same as vertical per model per strand. Vertical stack, same. Go back to default, and that's just treating the whole group like a whole house effect. Sometimes I'll use this per model single line, and that looks similar depending on what effect you're using, or overlay center. And that looks cool too. But a lot of times I'm at vertical per model. And so let's stick with that. Now, what can we do with another layer to make this interesting? And what I'm going to do to illustrate this, I'm going to change this from red. We're going to go red, green. Oh, please let that be green. Hey, I think it is. But we're going to do something on top of this to be interesting. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab the single strand effect again. I'm going to put that right up here. And we're going to make this white. Go. And we're going to change the chase size to 1, and we're going to put more in there. And what we can do here is we could maybe do this from middle, and let's see, that's looking better, and maybe less. Now we're cooking. See how subtle that looks? Now, I'm not saying that's falling snow, but it looks like snowflakes running left and right, or from the middle of each section. If you see it starts in the middle, it goes out and down, out over right, out over left. Each one of these is doing this at the group level because it's on overlay center. If I changed it to vertical, then it's just a little bit different. I prefer overlay center for that. Look at that, it doesn't look so spastic. I like it. Okay, so now we've got these back and forth single strands with the red and green. We've got the white doing their thing. It doesn't look overpowering. It's something that could still be in the background. But what if you want to add one more element to get a little more musical jump in the back and forth with the red green? And that's maybe where the music effect, or maybe, I don't know, I think VU meter. So let's put a VU meter in here. And by the way, I want to show you something that's kind of cool. Let me close that. Let me just copy this, Control C, Control V as in Victor. I paste that, and then I just grab this and drag it on top. What's nice about that is I didn't have to resize the VU meter, right? Which is kind of cool. Always a good thing. So the VU meter, let's find a different color for this. Let's find blue just so we can see it. And what we really want to do is have the VU meter apply to this. But before we do that, I like to drag the effect over to see how it looks without everything else to dial in what I'm looking for. And maybe I want this to be a timing event bar. And I want it to be beats. Okay. Let's look at one more. Let's go with the spike. That might be kind of cool. That might be kind of cool. And let's put this on vertical. All right, we're going to try that. And then we're going to put this back over here in its place. I'm kind of liking that. So when I find something like this and I kind of like it, I'm like, oh, maybe that's gonna become a preset so I could use it in other places. And that's as simple as clicking here and clicking here and clicking here, right click, effect preset, and give it a name. And then you can always come back to it. But we're not done. I want to do something different with this, and we're going to use layer blending to do that. And one that might look really cool is one is true unmask. Watch what happens. So if you don't want the color blue, you don't care about that, that's cool. Because now what we have is we have this bottom layer here. We have the single strand here with the red and green. It's now popping to the music. Pretty cool, huh? Watch what happens when we go back to normal. And these are just choices you can make. Let's put it on 2 is true unmask. Now what you get is that popping to the rhythm based on the VU meter, but now it's inheriting the color of the VU meter, and that looks kind of cool. A little Star Wars-ish, I think, for this song. I don't think it really works. I think the one true is unmasked works better, but if I had my choice to do any of them, it would probably be normal. And look at all the vibrant colors. We've got our white, our red, green, blue. It doesn't look super overpowering, and I think I would be good with that. That looks pretty cool to me. That's just 3 effects. So the top effect, overlay center, the VU meter, we put for vertical per model strand. The last one here, vertical per model strand, and that's it. So that takes care of the eaves. And a lot of times what I will do is I'll try to match the verts to the eaves if it makes sense. And that's as simple as going to my, where did my verts go? Okay, I'm going to go back over here to my house all. And I hope you guys caught something. I'll show you that in a second. So here's my eaves all. Here's my house verts. I'm going to add 2 more to that. I'm going to take these guys here. Boop. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste this. And let's see what it looks like. Look at that. Does that look cool? I love that. It's so simple to do. It's so effective. So if you're new getting into sequencing and you're just trying to understand and make pretty movements with light to music, the single strand is your tool. I wouldn't even mess with too much of the others until you play with this. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. I wanted to keep this short. Oh, one last thing. Did you notice this in Master View? What's at the top here? Eaves all? No. Edit display elements. No. It should always be house all. Just make sure your groups are at the top, followed by the other stuff. And what matters the most, as I've said before in other tutorials, is Master View. Make that at the top when it is for a whole house group. It's important. And then over here, I do the same thing. That always stays. That's it. And make sure you render. Make sure that you go back here. This is going to be red. Make sure you save that. Go back here. Render. Oh my goodness, it rendered in how fast? 0.365 seconds. Well, we love that. I'll do more of these as I come up with other little ideas. This is just a quick down and dirty, short, quick tip, xTreme style. You guys have a wonderful day. See ya.